responding to you. Yeah, but it sounds like you kind of wanting something. Then before you know it, peak.
Do you think it's got worse like we're rolling? Do you think it's got worse like that because of social media?
Yeah, social media is dangerous, man. Social media is dangerous, and especially when you start to build a persona for yourself. I'm not going to say I'm a public persona, like I'm nationally known. I'm known by people nationally.
Public
Some
enough, though.
people, yeah, I'm known by some people nationally, but I'm not nationally known.
Yeah.
But when you are a public profile, it's like there's more intrigue into your business.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is he? Like, how bad is he? He must have something bad about him. He must have some history. He must have skeletons. Or what's he doing? Like, who's he with? Who's his side? Who's his main? Like, all these types of questions that are literally swirling around people's minds, and it makes you paranoid. It makes you be very careful about how you respond to people, how you approach people. I've always been like that anyway, because it's like I get on well with females in general, and so I have like good relationships with females, but you still have to be very careful. Like, I'm very careful about how I phrase my sentences and stuff like that, just so it doesn't. Yeah, you know how it is. But yeah, social media's made a lot of things different. It's made a lot of things different, man. It's like social media has become people's lives, and therefore lives are being lived out on social media when it shouldn't be. Social media should be a tool of maybe escaping the stresses of real life and just going on there to see some funny stuff and maybe see what other,
I think it's like starting. We'll go back into social media, but let's start with you. What's this? What have you been doing for the last 10 years?
So this, to me, is my journey of being a creative individual. Someone who initially wanted to be an actor before studying, and then realizing maybe I'm going to go more down a journalistic route, to then realizing maybe journalism is not as dynamic as I thought it was going to be, and then, but I like music, so let me be a music journalist, and then kind of being thrown in front of a camera to be a presenter, which I did not want to do. But somebody threw me in front of camera after we had like a bit of an argument about me not going in front of camera, and then it kind of worked, which led to me going on stages and hosting, which is really what gives you your confidence as a host or a presenter. If you can do live events in front of live audiences, you can do anything. That's the training right there. It's like theatre. If you can do theatre, you can act.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So during that time as well, I was performing as a poet. So I was actually on a very steady. God knows where I would have been actually, if I carried on with that. Because if presenting never came, I would have never neglected my poetic passions. So God knows where I would have been, because I think I had the minerals, like, to take it. And I think what was quite unique about me as well is that I started to get a lot of bookings at comedy shows. So I did comedy shows up and down, like other cities, as a poet, because I managed to kind of like incorporate my personality into my poetry. So I had like some poems that were comedic, and like also being at a comedy show and the host telling you, okay, next coming to the stage as a poet, it's stress, it's pressure, because they want to come and they're coming to laugh. But I had it, and I used to smash down shows. I had a poem about my height. It was something like they think I'm short, but I think tall. They think what is it? They think something like it was something like what was it? It was like they think I'm devilish, but I'm blessed like the heavens. Or maybe it's because I only wear a small size 7s. But then it goes, but don't worry about the foot size rumors and whatnot, because I got a big black long, and then I pull out this pair of socks. it was mad. Like, it was mad. I pull it out of there as well. Like, and so, you know what I mean? It's like just playing about with the poetry. And then there was another one as well that was it was if this were my world, if this were my world, there would have been no combined condemned government unveiled. If this world were mine and reflected my mind, there'll be confusion of a next kind. Searching for myself, I sometimes see myself as the only existing, forgetting my intelligence and instead opting for barbaric fisting. I am unpredictable. But if this world were mine, there will be There will be morals that will be stuck to by all. So fathers will be there for their kids. There'll be equal economics. There'll be squashing of racial politics. And for every one man, there'll be 10 chicks. Yes, I do love the female bits. But if this world were mine, if this world were mine, but as you can see, my world would be a nice place. But what would my world be without a fun escape?
Yeah.
So if this were my world, so in my world, man, they would never have to wear shoes to rave. Nando's would be free on Tuesdays. United would have 11 Wayne Rooney's, all right. And, you know what I mean? And like, it used to go on like that, and just like playing about with like poetic rhythms and poetic techniques.
Yeah.
And I had fun with it, man. But then, like I said, I won the SBTV competition.
What competition was that?
So I was hosting live events, and an Irish lady called Nicola, big up Nicola, she's in Ireland now, she moved back. She did an application form for me for SBTV. They were looking for a male presenter, and that was part of the show on Channel 4, which was called Inside SBTV, from the bedroom to the boardroom.
Okay.
I didn't know all this. I just knew that it was when I found out, I just thought it was a competition for a presenter.
Yeah.
I've gone there now. Big camera crews watching my steps and going up the stairs. Like, I come in there to do my audition. It's like boom, boom, camera crews. I'm like, yo, I thought I was just coming to a normal audition. But when I walked to that audition, I said to myself, I remember when I got it, I remember saying to myself, yo, today could change your life, you know? Let's just do you. Like, do you. And if you is good enough, it works. You can do that for the rest of the time. And it was weird because I remember on my way walking there as well, I seen an Australian guy that I used to work with in the office that I worked in. I worked at a company where I was working on an account with the Ministry of Defence. I used to move soldiers from like France to Germany, Italy to France. Yeah, it was at a company called Pickford's. I was like an international move coordinator. And I see one of the guys who's like one of the sales team, and he's like, "Where are you going, mate?" And I was like, "I'm going to an audition." He's like, "An audition?" I was like, "Yeah, an audition." Even I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, good luck, mate." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yo, that's weird." Like, a guy that I used to work with has just bumped me on the way to walk into this audition. It's weird how the universe works.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe it's a sign. Like, that's the past, and now you're going towards the future. You know what I mean? And so I went to the audition. I was the first person to be auditioned on the whole day.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning the whole entire competition.
How many people were there?
I think overall I beat like over 100 people.
Out of 100
Yeah,
people,
not to mention how many more who actually applied as well.
Yeah.
So what's quite weird is, what's quite interesting is that some of the people that also applied actually became some of my friends in years later. People like Ruben. What's Ruben's surname again? You might know Ruben. He's online doing a lot of stuff. Ruben Christian.
Okay.
Lewis Bloor, who went on to Towie. Chris as well, who's a journalist. Jamie Howard, who was a comedian.
Jamie from Sunday used to do a lot of Sunday.
Yeah. Sean Sagar, who's an actor in the BBC One drama.
Yeah.
Like, good stock was chosen from, man, and like this little brother here from the ends, like, managed to win it. But you know how I won it? I forgot. I just remember something. I won it with a poem, bro. Poetry has been a secret tool.
Right.
No, I don't remember the poem at all. I don't remember the poem, but what it was is that they couldn't choose they got to the 5. They managed to whittle down the last 5 to the last 3. They couldn't choose. So they're like, look, you got to make something, tell us in 60 seconds why you should win. And I was like, poem. It's got to be a poem. You get me? It's got to be a poem.
So, by the way, when I turn my phone, it's because I'm writing notes as you're talking.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you consider yourself special?
No. I don't consider myself special, but I do realise that different. Not to be arrogant, although you can be if you want to. But would you consider? I mean, you made it out of a competition of 100 people for SBTV. You won. Would you consider yourself special? Gifted, talented. I think I had a gift with words. I was able to put words together in a way that could be entertaining, but also thought-provoking. But I think more than anything, do you know what it is? It's like there's an extreme level of determination in me. It's undeniable. Like, I'll go harder. I'll like push harder. I'll go longer. I'll go without sleep. I'm willing to do that. Some people can't do it, and I realized that on my journey. It's like I might tell, like, look, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, yeah, but you gotta be up at this time, and we're gonna.
And that's what really sets people apart, though. Yeah. I'm trying to tell people, it's having the ability, means, and talent is cool, but it's the determination and drive that really pushes you, though.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, like, I'll give you an example. I was just thinking about it the other day because we were talking about it. I do a show on Sky One. I was filming for, what show was I filming for? I was filming for the show that's supposed to come out last night in Hull.
Okay.
And then it was Halloween actually, so it was around this time, this sort of time last year. And I'm filming in Hull all day. I've got a train back from Hull back to London because I wanted to come back anyway, and also because I was to go to a film screening of Scream that was done by Sandy, who has got a company. They do like a lot of stuff with films and stuff. Sandy Sheems.
Okay.
And so I've gone from Hull, filming all day, come back down, and I've gone to this film at maybe it's finished at about 1 a.m, but I've got to be at Sky like at 3, 4 a.m. to go to Manchester to go and do a shoot to film something. But I'm filming the men's health and fitness survival of the fittest competition that I'm going to be participating in. So I filmed all day in Hull.
And then you're going to Sky to film.
I've come to the film screening. I've got back home about 2 a.m. I've got to be at Sky for 3, 4 a.m. I've got 2 hours, and then I'm going straight to Manchester to take part in the most difficult fitness survival competition in this country. Jumping over things, jumping into water, climbing back out, running from going up Manchester City Stadium and then running back down Manchester City Stadium. And I've done that. I can't lie, I did struggle. But it's that level of determination, to the fact that I would even dare to pack my schedule like that. It's not healthy, let alone logical. It's not healthy, but that is, I will do it. Like when I was in my earlier days, I don't do it so much now because I try to get some sleep nowadays. But in my earlier days, I had this thing called NSG. I would just tweet #NSG. NSG was no sleep gang. All the no sleepers would come and we're up.
I've got a bag.
We're up. We have little interactions. Because bro, I wasn't sleeping. So am I special? I don't think I'm special. Am I different? I think I'm different in the sense where I noticed that I had maybe a bigger passion than some people naturally had. Even in football, it didn't benefit me well in football because, blood, I'll take you out, fam. I don't care. You know what I mean? Bro, I've got to win or I've got to stop an attack. You know what I mean? It's I don't care. Man don't like the way that I play. Even up to now, sometimes I might just done a man over. I can't help it. It's still in me. It's I just
got to get to the ball first.
Passion. And so one thing that set me apart is not because I'm special. And I truly believe this. Even people that you see that's doing big things, I always say, do you know what? The reason why I was able to interview some of the biggest celebrities in the world is because I realized that they're a human being just like I am. But what I realized is that they were placed in front of opportunity, and they had what it takes to capitalize on opportunity. Because there are people who we know who are equally as talented, if not more talented, but unfortunately maybe opportunity didn't arise or they didn't capitalize on opportunity that was there. The people that have done really well is because they've capitalized on the opportunity and they've maximized it as well. I don't think any of us are special. Some people have special talents. Some people can do things that are crazy, you know what I mean? Freestylers with the ball.
But even so, it's a special talent or just something that was nurtured.
Yeah, because most things are nurtured. Do you know what I mean? Even people say to me oh, you're such a good presenter. To be honest, when I won that competition, from that day I was okay, Roach, it's time to learn.
Because I think sometimes as well, people don't realise, even though you may have started presenting on a certain day, that doesn't necessarily mean the skills needed started that day. It's been a lifelong lesson almost, isn't it?
Yeah, I always say that I started acting after I stopped acting up. Do you know what I mean? When I started acting, I was I was acting up for years, but now I actually put it into I guess a professional context. And when I think about presenting, I was writing as a journalist. I was the first black male section editor at my university newspaper.
What uni did you go?
I went to University of Birmingham, which is a red brick university. When I went there, it was a top 20 university in the country. Intense. Culture shock when I went there.
Culture shock, why?
Blood, I went there I went to a lecture in a tracksuit. And I remember walking up the stairs to get to a seat, and I remember there's bare eyes on me because I was rare. I actually stand out here.
Because you was in a tracksuit? Yeah,
bro, because I'm tracksuit, black youth, still very much urban, bro. As much as people might see me now and think, oh, but he speaks so well. Fam, man's from the hood.
Were there many black people in your uni in general, or was it just in your journalism class?
We had an ACS. But what I noticed is a lot of the black people that were at my university, God bless all of them, great people. They had come from more kind of private school backgrounds or grammar school, or maybe scholarship in certain types of schools. So even if they were from similar types of areas, their experience for the last 5-6 years is completely different. I did have one friend, big up Tristan, who was from South London. He's from Elephant and Castle, very much like me. He managed to get into the university based on merit, but it came from a very hood background, like very, very hood, in fact. And so he was like my solace, because it's someone that I could chill with and be with that understands me and what I'm from. And to be honest, when I think about it now, I'm getting kind of emotional. It's mad. When I think about it now, if I never had him, bro, I don't even know what would I have done, because it was me and him, bro. Like me and him. Like I associate with everybody else, but he was the main. You know what I mean? Like the one that. It's mad. See, God is great, bro. He puts maybe certain people in our lives and certain things before us, like that are supposed to be there to help us get along. Because actually, I was gonna leave university.
So wait, did you finish university completely?
Yeah, I got a first class honours degree, bro. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I was gonna leave because of the culture shock and because my course.
You were gonna leave because of the culture shock?
Yes, bro. Yes. I was going back to the roads. I remember saying to him, I'm just gonna go to the roads. Like maybe just do something, yeah. Maybe even try and pick up my acting again, because I was acting before that.
Why? What? We'll get onto the other stuff, but
the culture shock, but also the course. Like I had never struggled academically in my life, but the course that I did, because it was a journalism course at first. I was doing electronic, computer and electronic, electrical, and computer engineering. I was in a course called multimedia computer systems. I felt like I knew about what it was like to be in front of a camera. So I was like, let me try and learn what's behind, like visualization and stuff like that. But this course wasn't that. I was doing like scientific principles. I was doing discrete mathematics, like atomic propositions and logic, which was like where you turn maths into like into statements. You might know it, but it was crazy. And I was doing computer programming, which I've never been good at. Like I was doing straight into C++ and C++ and C+ and JavaScript, and it's like, yo, the only thing that I was good at, the only module that I did really, really well in was human performance, which was basically about designing interfaces and designing computer systems tailored to a human experience. The only thing that had a bit of human interaction.
What year was this?
It's like 10 years ago or something, bro.
You was doing this 10 years ago?
Yeah, like 10.
It sounds like something that could be happening today.
Yeah, but it was. But like it was advanced, didn't it? And it's like, but I never knew. I thought I was going to be going there and doing visualization, doing like understanding about, you know, like I guess maybe creating like through computers. No, I was doing in-depth like scientific principles, discrete like universe. I didn't even do maths A level, and I was doing maths degree level. Yeah. It was crazy, so it was too much. Yeah. And I was like, and I'll tell you why I was going to leave. I tried to contact the university and explain to them, do you know what? I don't think this course is for me. Like, if it was possible, could I please, like, maybe move over to a course that's more for me? Like, maybe, like, I was going to do English and drama. Yeah. They were like, what makes you think over all the other participants that are, all the other applicants who apply to get onto the course that you should be allowed and I was like,
The university said that.
Bro, yes, the course leader, whatever it was, and I was just truthfully, genuinely trying to find a course that more suited me.
Had you had any conversations with him prior to that?
No, bro. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I'm gonna tell you another situation as well, which also kind of added to this. And I was like, wow. But then I came to realize maybe years or months later that apparently a lot of people go to a university on one course and try to change over to a course that maybe they would have been able to get into. But the course that I got into was a flipping hard course to get into anyway. So I wasn't trying to do that. So I was like, forget it. But then he was like, why don't you try another course? Like, we don't just give up kind of thing. And I was like, that's a good point. That's a good point still. And that's when I found media, culture and society.
So that's what you ended up.
I did media, culture and society, which was it was more a sociological degree, to be honest. But it also allowed me to look at the media's impact, the impact of media, how media is written, writing against the grain, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But before that.
So wait, sorry. There's an actual course on how the media is written.
Oh yeah, bro. And how it affects society.
Right. We'll get into that.
It's called media, culture and society. Okay. How media affects culture, how it affects society, and how they all interrelate and affect each other.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. Before that, one of my first experiences in uni, I remember I could not work out how to find these rooms, bro. I went to a very big university. I could not work out how to find these rooms and these seminar rooms and these lecture rooms. And I got late to one of them, and I was like, I'm in a proper like huff. Yeah. Sorry, I think I'm supposed to be in here. And I remember the tutor was like, "Are you sure you're supposed to be here?" And I was like, yeah, taking out my forms. Yeah. He's like, no. I looked up at him, he's like, no, are you sure you're supposed to be here?
Like that.
And I was like
that.
Yo, is man just, you know when like the hood kind of turns on, but then the hood turns off, off. And I was like, is man violating? So you're like, yo, I should just lay Donnie out. But then you're like, real, I'm in university, Redbrick University, I'm one of the best in the country. What do I do? Humble myself, but at the same time, raw. In fact, I didn't go to a lot of seminars, and maybe that could have been part of the reason. I think maybe he might have put me off. I think that experience really put me off because seminars are a bit more personal. Remember, seminars were more you're in a smaller group and you're with a dedicated tutor.
Yeah.
And so like, bro, it was a culture shock. Yeah.
Have you had many other races experience in or outside of uni other than that?
Nah, in fact, this is gonna get quite deep, but I guess it's what we're here for. I didn't actually realize things about my own self. Like, I'm black, yeah. Both my parents are black, but I look like I'm mixed. I didn't realize this, so to speak, because I know that I'm a black man. So when I went to uni, it was about 18, 19 years old when I first started to realize that people looked at me and thought I was mixed race. And for years, people that had known me all my life had looked at me and just assumed that I was mixed race.
I thought it was mixed race.
Yeah. Because my mum went to come to most parent evenings with me. My dad never used to really like going to parents' evenings. And my mum is... Yeah, both of them. They're still together, bro. They're together right now. Yeah, man. They live in Barbados together, but my dad's here at the moment because he hasn't been too
well. Quick question. Who's from Dominica?
My mum is half Dominican, half Barbadian. My dad is full Barbadian.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So... that was massive for me, and it was also around the same sort of time. So
what was massive? What was the first time you had that experience?
Realizing that people looked at me and just assumed that I was mixed race for all my life. I thought people just knew that I was a black man.
So the questions, when you started getting questions like, what would people ask you?
They would say, "So which one of your parents is white?"
Okay.
But thinking about it now, the barber did that as well. I remember one time he said, I was like, "Nah, man," but I just kind of brushed it off.
Yeah.
But then when that happened, it's like I realized, oh my God, and I spoke to someone from my high school and they were like, "Oh, I just always assumed that." And I was like, "Oh, shizzle." So people,
Does it go for you?
It did, yeah. Because I'm proud. I'm a proud black man. I'm very proud of being black, and I'm also not very proud of the reasons why my skin is so light.
You're not proud of the reasons why
yeah.
your skin is so light. Do you want to elaborate?
My grandma, my dad's mum, was a servant to a white man, a judge, who was originally from Scotland, but he was based in Guyana and Barbados. I don't really need to finish the story. Like, as many situations happen in the Caribbean, it's nothing new. It's nothing for me to even be. Yeah. But so my mum says to me, you don't know. It could have been that they fell in love and stuff. I'm like, Mama, come on. Like, let's be real. Like, it is possible. But the reason why I don't think it is possible is because apparently my granddad, rest in peace, years after, he tried to make contact with that side of the family. But apparently they told him something on the lines of, we don't really want to know you. Like, my man had his own family in Scotland. So what he was doing there was like a bit of miscellaneous extra. And so yeah, and I think, do you know what, I'll tell you why maybe I held malice towards it, because at the same sort of time is when I first watched Roots.
That changes every black person's perspective, Roots, man.
Especially when you think about Chicken George and Kunta Kinte's descendants, because they ended up getting their lineage mixed as well because of being on the slave plantation and the slave master having his way with this is really deep conversation. I don't even should be talking about, but and obviously he had his wicked way with the girl and created a mixed race child, which was Chicken George. And then it made me think to myself, and my granddad's middle name was George as well, but it made me think to myself, so hold on, wait, my granddad was born out of a similar exploitation, which didn't sit well with me. And so that compounded with, oh shizzle, everyone thinks that I'm mixed race. I was in a very, that was a very identity conflictive time for me, because I was like, ooh, because I have to be honest. I can understand why people will think it. Look how light my skin is, bro. I am very light skinned. I'm probably more light skinned than some people who are mixed race. Do you know what I mean? But I was very proud of the fact that I am 3/4 Beige and I'm a quarter Dominican. People ask me where you're from. I never say England. Never. Because I'm proud. My dad was born in Barbados. My mum was born here, but she went to school in Barbados and in Dominica. Like, I love those two places. You know what I mean? I love where I'm from,
So
and I
you've been
love.
to Jamaica?
Of course, yes, man. I'm gonna go soon again as well. Cause my grandma's always, you don't come and see me, we. I would drop down. I will drop down dead before you come and see me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't hear that one more time. It's, we papa boje.
Papa boje.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
can't hear that again before I go back. So I've got to go back and pay homage to my heritage and my grandmother, man.
So what happens when there's a conversation about colorism? How do you fit into that conversation, do you feel? Or what's your argument on that?
I don't like colorism, man.
As in
like,
the topic, or
I don't like it as an actuality of our time. It's not even a topic. It's an actuality. It's happening. I don't like it, man. Like, I think some people can say, well, yeah, but I guess you're speaking from a light-skinned privileged perspective. But I've never, and you know, I'm gonna be real with you. Someone said to me,
because if someone was to say to you, you have light-skinned privilege, are they lying?
And this is where we're going. Someone said to me, maybe about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago, they were like, oh, do you think you'd be as far as you are in your TV career if you weren't light-skinned?
That's a touchy question.
And I was like, I never thought about that. I was like, oh, would I? It made me think, and I'm like, yo, have I garnered opportunity as a result of my complexion? Bro, I hope not, bro. But at the same time, I'm not ignorant enough to not realize that I'm not use the word opposing, other races can be a bit more comfortable with me because my skin's lighter. For some reason, lighter skin is seen as less intimidating. I don't understand that still, but I know that is a reality for some. Back to colorism. I don't like it, bro. But maybe because, do you know what it is? I've never looked at myself. Like, I grew up in a circle where all my friends were black. I had like white friends and stuff as well. Those are my white brothers.
You're black,
Those are my white brothers. That's my Indian, that's my Brazilian Donny. Didn't really care. I know he's white or whatever, but that's my Donny. But my main circle was black. So when I'm thinking about us, I'm thinking we're the black boys. I'm not thinking, oh, we're the black boys plus me, the mixed race boy. But then I was like, well, that's actually what people probably thought for a long time. And then when I think about it as well, like, the man used to be like, oh, Roach, go and talk to them, like see if they can bring us in. So like, if we're in a situation where we're in a bit of a sticky one, like trying to get through the barriers, but no one's got a ticket, oh, Roach, go and talk to them. And I always thought it was because I know how to speak. And I think it is part of that as well. Yeah, I always knew how to speak to people. But maybe it's also because, and I remember one time as well, it's like, man will be like, you're light skin, man, go and see if they give you, and I'm like, and I just go and do it, and I'm like, but hold on a second, I'm light skinned.
Since recognizing that, has that made you change the way you think, feel, act, or see situations that you're in? Has that changed your perspective on everything since that was brought to you?
Unfortunately, it does, man. Like, it's made me really want to make sure that I highlight black beauty, black achievement, black people, even more. I did it anyway, but even more, because I do realize the lack of recognition, the lack of presence of our darker skinned black people on a
like a media sort of
yeah, probably. I say that. I think it's more our black females, to be honest, because you know what? Most of our guys that are doing really well, which is good, are like dark-skinned black brothers. You know, our Stormzies, our Skeptors, our Dizzies, our
Do you think that could be with how people view men and women as well, mixed with dark skin too?
Yeah. Do you know what? Someone said to me once that, you know, the dark-skinned female is the most feared in society.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about that, but it made me think. I think it is. I think a lot of people think that dark-skinned females are angry, are aggressive, are scary, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just because they're so rich. They're rich in energy. They're rich in life. Like, they're rich in love. Like, I remember someone showed me something the other day, and it said something like, a black woman has to. Oh, what was it? A black woman has the job of making a black man feel like the world is not against them, something like that. Anyway, it's a black man's job to make a black man feel to make a black man feel that feel loved, even though the world is against them, or something like that. And I was like, Jesus, like, bro, it's so deep, because not only have they got their own responsibility for themselves, they're trying to position themselves, but then they're also supposed to be supporting us as black men to make us not suffer underneath the being the most burden laden.
Moving on to a topic of misogyny though.
Yeah.
Is that a woman's job to do that for a man, regardless of her colour?
No. But the quote was more coming from an aspect of they've got this burden as well.
Okay, and their man's burden and their own.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Because ultimately it is.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Because thinking about another woman of any other.
And it won't have to, and it's not necessarily your partner as well. It could be your mother.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, our mother knows when she has a black child, I've got a mad responsibility now. Another thing that's happening right now as well is that we're having a lot of mixing. So a white mother, she now may not even realize what she's got, but she's got a massive responsibility, because no matter what your child is, him just having that half black, he's seen as black, bro. I think they had a speech back in the day where they said if a child has a drop of black blood, he's black.
Yeah, that's an American thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and that isn't something that is just myth, that is reality. Like, they're not looking at you and saying, oh, I wonder if you're Irish, or they're looking at you saying, oh, a black boy, probably Jamaican.
Everyone thinks the Caribbean is Jamaica.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's a whole new angle we've got now as well. We've got white women that have now, I don't want to call it a burden, but they have the responsibility and the task of protecting their black sons and daughters. And I think the first time we've seen it on a national scale is when Mark Duggan's mum came out and spoke, and it kind of hit people in the head. It's like,
or possibly Stephen Lawrence, but there was a big gap between them.
Oh, of course. But I think in terms of the new, like what we,
the new generation,
because in terms of like, you know, this, because we have a very mixed race as a group is one of the fastest rising ethnicity groups. Is the fastest rising ethnicity groups in this country.
Yeah.
So that, of course, Stephen Lawrence, Doreen, of course, and I've met Doreen, like, rest in peace, Stephen. Yes, of course I have. But I played Stephen Lawrence's best friend in a production called The Colour of Justice. Yeah, in Birmingham. It was called The Colour of Justice. It's based on Stephen Lawrence's murder, and I played Dwayne Brooks. And I wasn't even supposed to play it, but the audition was so strong that they said, look, this is supposed to be something that's read out, but we want you to learn this as a monologue. I had to learn like a 7-page monologue and deliver it live to stage. It was mad. But back on point, the reason I say that is because I think it's the first time that people realize, ooh, we now have white women who have the responsibility now of protecting black men, because as much as Mark was mixed race, rest in peace,
he was black. Yeah.
He was killed as a black man. Yeah. They didn't think they were killing a half white man. Yeah. In their head, they were killing a black man. Yeah. Or chasing down a black man and accidentally killing a black man. But
what's your views on that? Do you think it was intentional? Do you think there was a conspiracy behind
it? Yeah. It's definitely intentional. Like,
because the argument would be, and this is me playing devil's advocate, the argument would be he wasn't exactly a saint.
No. Yeah, we knew that. Like, we knew the collective from the, if you were involved in the streets, you knew the collective. Like, I'm from Northwest, they're from North, but like it wasn't conjoined, but man knew the collective. I knew maybe even members that were associated with the collective. I used to see them out on the raving scene and stuff like that as well, popping beer, champagne and everything there.
So,
yeah. But it's still not the point.
Did you see Mark Duggan?
Yeah, but they were. I don't want to. They were part of a collective.
Yeah, you saw it, you knew it.
Yeah, they were part of a collective. Yeah, and but it's still no reason. Like, I could be part of a collective that were known to be active, or maybe known to do certain things, drug dealing. Not saying it was drug dealing, gang membership, but just because I was associated with it doesn't mean that you have the right to take my life away. Yeah. It doesn't give you the right to take my life away.
What did you think of the riots after that?
Misguided.
Yeah. A great opportunity, but one that was spoilt.
Yeah. With
the wrong action.
We aimed at anger at the wrong places. We aimed at our own communities by taking things and smashing up things in our own community.
Yeah. How would you describe the people who've done that? Because on one hand, you get people that sympathise or empathise and say, it was due to guys and men being frustrated with the conditions of the streets and
which is why
then on the flip side, and I'm merely playing devil's advocate here, everyone has a responsibility for themselves and what they do.
Yeah, 100%. I don't judge them. I just think it was misguided, because I remember as well before it happened. I remember saying, Yo, even when I found out that he, because I found out at first that he had got killed in the way he got killed, and I said it, and this is no word of a lie, I swear to God, I said, there's gonna be uproar.
Is it?
I knew it, because the thing is, you don't understand, bro, these issues were building. That time there was a time when, if I'm not mistaken, I remember like a summer before, I had been stopped and searched. I had stopped and searched papers like up like this. Bro, they were just gripsing us up and just violating us non-stop. Yeah. The tension was massive between us and the police. This was bubbling, and if it wasn't Mark, rest in peace, it probably would have been something else, bro. But my issue, what I was worried about, especially after seeing what happened in America, is I'm just happy this didn't happen, is that it didn't start sparking off this whole, oh, we could murder, excuse me, young black men mentality in the police.
I think generally though, that's probably because the culture of the police is different and they don't have the access to guns like in America. That the gun culture in America drives a lot of their thinking. So,
but saying that though, like, if people do to do some research, I remember, I couldn't believe that I learned this at university, but I remember doing a cultural studies lecture, and I remember they educated me to the amount of young black men that lost their life in police custody in the UK in the 90s.
It's a lot. It was a lot.
Bro, there was loads. And up until now, they're still unsolved. Yeah. So my thing is, it's like, I'm worried, you know? I'm worried for what I feel. I don't know, I don't...
What worries you the most?
Huh?
What worries you?
I'm worried. Not worried me the most, but I'm worried because you see, I'll tell you something. Anything that happens in America happens here.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Whether we know it or not. Yeah. So stuff like bugging phone stuff, like over there, that's commonly known. They can use that in court and stuff. I think over here it's actually been approved now by courts where you can have certain levels of intelligence like that. But on a bigger,
to be fair, England's like, we are the most watched country in the world.
But on a bigger level, anything that happens there. Yeah. Happens here or eventually happens here. So my thing is, how they're killing our brothers out there is insane, and with nobody getting prosecutions or convictions. My worry was, and my worry still is actually, to be honest, is if that starts coming over here as a culture. Oh, we thought you had a knife, so we had to take him down. But the thing is, we have tasers here. They use tasers first. But they have tasers there, but they're still shooting brothers. But it's because they have guns. Like you said, people are allowed to have guns themselves. So sometimes they say that they thought they have a gun, But like my worry is, especially with how thankfully I feel like the spate of violence has maybe lessened in the last couple of months. But it might have lessened, or it might just be covered less. Because there's always an agenda with the media.
Always. But I'm so glad you've got so much to talk about.
But I feel like I hope it has lessened. But what I was saying is that the way that the violence was going is that it would give almost cause for response. And what I didn't want to see is young black men being killed like how they were or like how they are in America. I don't want to see young black men in America being killed either. Do you know what I mean? But I just know that we tend to, like, even our rap scene right now is where the American rap scene was, I would say maybe in the early 90s. Yeah. No, maybe the 90s. Like, we're starting to, we've got a few people we've got guys that are actually making money out of the scene now. It's actually become part of the mainstream, like where guys are going into the mainstream charts and charting. So we're always a bit behind, but we tend to emulate. But I just don't want us to emulate the bad things. And that was a worry for me. But it probably will. As long as, I guess, we don't really have, because guns is what are giving them the reason to shoot people. We thought you had a gun. He was reaching for a gun. Or we had a gun on him. You know what I mean? The gun thing is a main reason for how they're, well, sometimes it's not. They're just shooting, man. But, yeah.
Where do your passions come from, man? Just your passion to do what you're doing, the fact that you're passionate about the topics that you covered as well. Was there a point where you said, where something clicked or switched over, or was it a gradual thing? Where does it come from?
Bit of both, man. It was gradual and something clicked. You know what it is? Being from where I'm from Harlesden in northwest London. Historically renowned where I'm from, because the borough of Brent as a whole, when I was a young teenager, we had the worst gun crime and knife crime rates in the whole of London. But nobody understood why, because we are the smallest borough, if not one of the smallest boroughs. In fact, North West London as a whole is small. We're in a certain part of North West London now. We can literally go to the other side of North West London in half an hour. You know what I mean? It's less than that maybe. It's not far. Even from where I'm from to where we are right now is about, I can get you there in 15 minutes if I'm driving. Probably less. So it's not big, but it had some of the biggest rates of knife and gun crime. No one didn't understand it. There was a lot of reports here. They bought like the Northern Irish kind of like police officers to come over here, like to try and like come and patrol. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened. I think we were the main reason for the Trident. The Trident Initiative Task Force that came about. They had a show called Heart of Harlesden, trying to understand what is this Harlesden place. Yeah, it really was a mecca of madness. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy, and that's what I grew up in. Like, so for instance, somebody got shot in the head outside my front door, bro. Like,
front door?
Yeah. Like, my door was here, and the guy got shot in the head just like over there.
Were you there?
No. I was at school, but I came home. I had to sign in. It happened in broad daylight, which is mad. I had to come in to sign in with the police, my name and what number I lived at to get down my road, because they had like forensics and all sorts going on. And I remember as well, what's really, really bad is that I remember nothing. Yeah, another person got killed. And I remember even I was at the window trying to do like little gun signs because I saw the news. Imagine they had that. Imagine I had footage of that. And you got me doing what I'm doing now, and this little young me doing yo. You know what I mean? But I shouldn't make light of it. But I say that to say this: it showed me just how desensitized I had become to violence, and that's something that I'm seeing that clicked with me as well about young people. The desensitization to extreme violence. So yeah, back to what I was saying. So gradual. So first thing is I came out of uni, and then I started like asking questions about the younger ones and stuff, because I used to like even from school, I took a very strong role with the younger ones. Talk to them. What are you doing? Stop doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make sure you fix up. You know what I mean? Just keep yourself out of trouble, man. Because I was demonized in school. Like, teachers, when they would, like, I remember they would come to the class and they would see my name, and they would look up, and then from there they were like making sure they knew. Yeah, bro, I was bad. Like, I was bad. I punched up a teacher in school. Like,
Them kids, bro. I never had the balls to do that. I've done some crazy stuff.
Yeah, bro, it was just mad. Like, I was suspended from certain classes as well. I wasn't allowed in certain classes. I spent a lot of my time on report. I became really good friends with the deputy headmaster, which was weird. People found it very weird. They'll see me and him walking down the corridors. But he was a savior. He saw past all the bravado, and he could see what I couldn't even see yet. Mr. Garner, Mr. Alan Garner. And so I took a strong role with the younger ones. So when I've come out of uni now and I'm here, did you hear about what I'm saying? What happened? He's like, them man, they had a gun in school, and they were running from the police in school, that had running with the gun, throwing the gun to each other, like
in school.
Like, running, you hold it, but it's got all your fingerprints on it now. Oh yeah, so and so's in jail. He's been in and out of jail. I'm like, so and so's this, and I'm like, yo, the youths them have gone mad. Like, I started to clock that the youths them were worse than us.
It always goes like that.
And I was like, what's happening? Because I was training them to be better. So that was the first thing I realized, the youths them, and I foresaw what we're experiencing now. I foresaw it years ago. Because I could see that the youths then were getting worse.
I think if you were on the streets in particular, you could have easily seen that.
Yeah. But a lot of men say to me, it's not worse, it's just seeing how it was for us. And there's a lot of truth in that as well, but I feel like it's got worse in terms of the age.
I think it's got worse in terms of age, and in terms of the fact that social media just exacerbates.
Yeah. And also, we used to fight. Certain men were known for punching man up. Certain men were known to have got punched up. And then and then also, which is really...
Fight at school?
Yeah, fighting was normal, man. That's just a way of like getting out that frustration and settling a little problem, you know what I mean? Like, even when we got older, we used to have we call it little Aggie. Remember Aggie? We Aggie man just to like see who's stronger.
I'm from East, so we have different slang.
Yeah. But like, man used to Aggie man up, you get me? Just to like, this, all right, cool. Man got you to the ground, all right, so, you get me? That one settled. Get me, man, stronger. And the thing is, I'm 5'7", but man get it, like, bro, I punched up a lot of big tall man,
Did you have short man syndrome without being rude?
Well, I wasn't short at the time, I was the same size as everybody else, but everybody else kept going.
Okay.
And I just stayed at 5'7".
Okay.
So I was like, I gotta grow this then, innit? I gotta grow this because I know it's growing. But so back to the point of what I was saying. Yeah, and also guns were more involved when we were young. Man more had guns, and then they were only getting bought out for certain things.
Yeah.
You hear man getting gun bucked just because man didn't want to shoot him. But then the stabbing thing wasn't like how it was now. Even though a man tried to stab me when I was younger, and one of them lit me in the back of a hammer, one of them tried to drink me. It was only a little slice. It was nothing, though. Just hit me. Man was agile, you know, like man was agile. Yeah. And so that started it off. And then I think, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I've got too much empathy. I care too much. And some people say to me, no, it's not too much, bro. You know, like, obviously the things you do. But I do. I can't let things happen around me and
not do nothing about it.
or at least in the very least, like, try to contribute. And then what happened is that led to me getting into mentoring. I did anti-gang, anti-knife work with Lives Not Knives, who are now a registered charity. Big up Eliza and Monique. And then they trained me up as well in actually dealing with challenging behavior. I got a diploma as well. I already had a degree, but I got a diploma in working with youth work practice, different modules to do with dealing with challenging behavior. And I became a behavior specialist as well. So after that, I went on to doing like a bit of like work in schools and stuff, behavior mentoring, and then I became a behavior specialist. I worked on a summer program with the NCS where I was a behavior specialist, and I actually designed a role that they rolled out nationally. Where they had someone that was hired specifically to work with behavior in the young, because it's a project that takes like loads of inner city, and not kids all over the country for a whole summer. They go on a 6-week journey of where they go away somewhere to camp, hike, blah blah blah. Then they do a week where they have to design a program. They learn specialist skills in different areas, and then they put it together and do a project, and then they make money for a charity, all this stuff. But during those weeks, especially in South London, no offense to South, but like I did a lot of my work in South. They have a lot of issues with like, you know, the young men, and especially from opposing areas and stuff. Oh, Aarron, we got a problem in Peckham. Could you come down? So I'm going up to Peckham now and sorting out issues between the youth. Them. That was my job because I understand.
Did you find out rewarding?
I've never thought of it like that actually. Rewarding. That's an interesting word. I felt good, so I guess that's rewarding it. I guess. I felt good to know that I could work with a young man and maybe help him to maybe see something differently.
Did any of your talks work? I mean, it probably set off inspiration, set off ideas. Did you see anyone make a full change from the roads to doing something probably slightly more productive, or even just coming off the roads because of a talk?
See, the thing about my job here, my role is there's a few aspects to it. First of all, you take a lot of losses. Unfortunately, you work in behaviour, you take a lot of losses. But secondly, also, I can't track people's journeys. I'm not legally allowed to.
Of course. Yeah.
I work with them when I work with them, and then when they have to move on, it's like safeguarding is I can't give them a phone number. I can't take their phone number. They're still seen as a minor or a younger person. So all I can do is find out information through maybe somebody else.
So what happens when after they're done with you?
And that's the problem. Like, I worked in one of the worst schools in Northwest London, as a sixth form supervisor there. And that's where my behaviour stuff started. It wasn't supposed to be, but a lot of my work was behavioural with like 16 and 17-year-olds and turning 18-year-olds. And there was one youth that I had to bad him up, something horrible, like to the point where I felt like I was going to try and catch him outside the school and like shake him up a little bit. You get me? But then I was like, Roach, what are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you thinking about? Just rudeness. And I'm trying to talk to me certain stuff. Because you know what it is? They see you working in a role and they forget that, all right, like, I'm here now, yeah, but
I wasn't.
Do you know what I mean? But then I was in Lidl, strange enough, with my mum, taking my mum to Lidl to go and get some of those cheap veg and fruit they got in there. You know, it's cheap veg and fruit in there. And then I hear like, yo, sir. And I could tap and I'm like, oh shit, I'm saying, yo. He's like, yeah. Yeah, I'm at uni now, you know, so I'm doing maths, but I stayed in London to be closer to my family. I'm like, geez, look at this guy making big man decisions and doing big man things. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm so happy. And in fact, I posted about it on my did I put it on my Instagram as well? I feel I put it on my Instagram as well. Maybe about a year and a half ago or something like that, 2 years ago. And I was like, yeah, man, I got mad emotional about it. I posted up a whole statement that I made. I could probably even find it. But it was just basically a statement that just basically said, you know, like, it's the moments like this that make, you know, the hard work that I try to do, working with young people, worth it, man. You know what I mean? It's like, just that, like, it's not, some people might say it's not a major achievement for some people, but for me, it's major.
Would you want to do more?
That's the thing, you need to understand, like, when I left because I had a behavior base at a school. I had something called the brain, yeah? And I renamed it Behavior Results by Addressing Issues Now, BRAIN, yeah? Because that's what it was. We're trying to get behavior results by addressing your issues now. I had girls and boys in my base, and I worked intensively with them. It was quite punitive, so they weren't allowed to go out and have like lunch times and break times in a normal way. They have to go with me, and we come back to the room. Very much a punitive measure to try and help them reform this behavior to get them back integrated into the school before the school lets go of them altogether. The TV stuff started popping off. I did the first like show, and it's like I started to realize that I can't film and be here at the same time. And plus the school was starting to make changes where I think they couldn't really afford me because I was a contractor.
Okay.
And so they would have to put me on a contract with them, and they couldn't really afford me, so it was up in the air. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go. But that was the hardest thing for me to do, because these young people have so much inconsistency in their life already.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be another inconsistent figure in their life. Yeah. But then one of my friends was like, yeah, but bro, like what you're doing now, it's like, it's even, they can see what you're doing, and they can still get inspired by that, or they can still take from that, and then more people can see it as well and maybe take from it. And I'm like, I hear that. That's a nice romanticized way of thinking about it. But literally, they need me there.
What are some of the inconsistencies in these children's lives that you've seen?
Parental.
Is it mainly always parental?
Parental, sometimes just inconsistency from parents, like in terms of like, I'll give you an example. There was a young man that I was working with, and the thing is, lovely young man when he's with me, but crazy when he was outside of like my environment. And apparently he's lovely at home as well with his mum. His mum used to say, oh, I don't understand, he must only be here. I'm like, no, I think it's something that you're doing, babes, like, you know what I mean? But, so I'll give you an example. He remind me of a young me still. Man dashed like chairs and table at a teacher or something like that. Yeah, like, and God forgive me, man. But and sorry to Mr. Lee. Yeah, if you're, I don't know where you are, man. I heard he got scared.
Mr. who?
Mr. Lee still. I heard he got scared and tried to leave the country. But this young man throwing chairs, tables at a teacher, and so he's got in trouble, obviously. Yeah. You know, he's been excluded. What do they call it again? They used to call it
expelled.
A fixed term exclusion. They used to call it
fixed term exclusion.
Yeah, because they put a certain
posh.
They put trying to put a certain time on it. Obviously, fixed term meant that, you know.
You're not coming back.
No, it's really for a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay. Obviously, fixed term, yeah, of course.
But then you get like permanent exclusion.
Okay, cool.
So the boy's gone home, and the mum's told me, oh, I bought him this. The other time that hoverboards were the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've bought him a hoverboard. And, you know, it came, and so I just gave it to him. I'm like, no, you can't do that. These are the inconsistencies. If a child has done something wrong, yeah, you cannot go and give him or her a gift. Yeah. Because what you do then is you're reinforcing that the behavior that they've displayed is fine.
Yeah.
And I try to make these kind of things be understood. Like, this is the thing about behavior. It's like we have to be very careful about what we're enforcing without even saying. Yeah. You can slap me in my face and I keep hugging you. As someone that doesn't have any emotive understanding, you think, well, the slap in the face must be okay because he's hugging me. He's showing me a level of affection even though I'm showing him a level of aggression. Simple. Yeah, so that's what I mean about inconsistencies. But as well as inconsistency in terms of family and, you know, dad's not being there was a major factor that I saw with a lot of my young boys especially.
Considering everything you've been through, what does it take to be ready for kids? If you could answer that. Considering, and again, it's only going to come from you being on one side of the spectrum. There's other kids who grew up amazingly with amazing lifestyles. But in this era now, in this day and age, what's needed to raise a good child, do you reckon?
To raise a good child, you have to be ready to understand that your life is no longer about you. Your life is now a life that is ready to be sacrificed for the betterment and the nurturing of another human being. That's the main thing I feel for me. When you're ready to say, do you know what? I'm cool to take a sip, but I don't need Giuseppe's. I don't need as many expensive things before, because I want to put that love, that money, that attention into another human being who is mine, who I want to raise from infancy to adulthood. That is when you're ready, and I've seen it in other men that I know as well.
But do you think the way the kids are, in particular some of the ones you were talking to, do you think their parents lacked that?
Maybe not, you know.
No. So then...
Maybe not. But it's hard. Parenting is not easy. You know, you're a parent. You're a parent.
And my mum had a bit hard time being mum.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So we know we cause problems. Sometimes I think about the embarrassment to my mum that I must have caused, and I feel so bad. That's why I work so hard now, because I'm trying to replace them embarrassments with like achievements. You know, like that. Oh, he's on TV again. Boom. That's like that's one. That's one explosion. That's like that's you know what I mean. It's like a scoreboard. It's like right now the badness is still there. I'm trying to do a couple more shows, maybe win a couple of awards. Bring her. I got invited to the Diversity and Media Awards. I brought my mum with me, bro. Yeah. Like I just brought her with me. Like I told her put on a dress, let's go. Like I wasn't being honoured or anything like that. I was like, let's come with me, get an experience. You know what I mean? Welcome to my world and see like, you know, what's going on. And she loved it. I'm trying to knock down those negatives, slowly but surely. But yeah. So you say, what is it then? Parenting's hard. But like, even for me as a behavior specialist, sometimes I even felt bad. I'm trying to advise you as a parent on what you need to do with your child, but I only have your child 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Yeah. You have your child 24 hours a day, 52 weeks a year, 365 or 66 days. You know, it's very much easy for me to say things. Yeah. The reason why I think problems happen is it's not easy right now as well, bro. Especially, you know, like it's not easy because people are working, trying to provide.
People as well. People trying to provide.
Yeah, but bro, it's never been, especially in London, it's never been as people are surviving. Like that's what it is now. People are working to survive. No one's working to live anymore. Well, some people are if they're lucky enough to. They've achieved a certain level of affluence, or maybe they've worked their way to a certain level of affluence. But in general, people are working to survive, and they're working every living hour that there is to have that survival. Unfortunately, children are being not neglected, but they're not getting as much attention as they would, especially if you have a situation where there's only one parent. And that one parent has multiple jobs. The child is coming home by itself, maybe making food for itself. Mum or dad comes home late evening. By that time, they're either in bed, or maybe they might even be out on the streets because I've got no one's here. I might as well just go on the street, see what I go on. You're the older man that are out there, so let me see what they're saying. Oh, the older man are kind of like my older brothers. They're kind of like my dad to me still.
And that's how it was still.
And the cycle commences.
Do you see a difference in you and your friends who grew up with one parent at home? Do you see? Would you consider yourself fortunate?
But I hate
comparing yourself to other people.
But I hate saying it.
Yeah, why?
Like because
it's your reality. You can't.
Yeah, it's. But saying that though. Yeah. Do you know what it is? Even on a normal level, let's just be logistically straightforward.
Yeah.
You have two people.
Yeah.
Both earning money and working.
Yeah.
You will have more in your household because you have two incomes. On a normal logistic level, it's a difference. Yeah. But let's go back to me and my friends. I say yes, but saying that, one of my friends, even though he was a hustler as well. Yeah. He always worked. So he worked and hustled to the point where now he's saved money, he's invested, and he's actually not hustling anymore. But yeah, only his mum. Him and his mum. You know what I mean? He didn't go through the educational stuff like I did. He didn't go any further education and stuff, but he worked, hustled, and he achieved a certain position in life.
You know what's interesting? So I wonder if you know what's interesting? The fact that we're from a certain place means we downplay hustling.
Yeah.
If we're talking, I'm not saying what your boy done. Let's just assume hustling means selling drugs or robbery or whatever. Where we've grown up, that shit is normal. Everyone shops. Everyone's hustling. We don't even know hustling. You get what I'm saying? You'll never know know.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's okay.
No.
Because in the normal world, people don't do that.
Yeah. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. Like, I was in a meeting yesterday with my the director of my my series on Sky One. He's actually from the hood as well originally.
Yeah.
And I was saying to him that.
Sorry, before you start, your series directors from the hood.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, black guy. Yeah.
Are there many black people up in there?
He's the only one that I know. Like, he does the Sky One show that I do, and the thing is, the Sky One show that he does doesn't even get that much love from Sky One.
Alright, let's go back. We'll go back to that.
But and we were having dinner yesterday after we had a meeting because we're going to start filming our new series within the next month or so. And I said to them on the table, there was one Asian girl, 3 white girls, him. I was like, a lot of us from the inner city. That come from certain environments and certain areas, we're suffering from PTSD, but we don't realize it. And I say that because what you just said, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, I say that because violence is normal.
Exactly.
Violence is normal, and hustling, selling drugs, being in dirty crack houses. With man that are testing your food to make sure it's good, and man that are coming in there itching and twisting.
People with real problems
is normal.
Yeah.
Oh, please, just a little bit. Oh, man, cool, man. Just, hey, look, go back down the block, man. Normal for us. Some people will see that and they'll run for their life. Oh my God, what am I in?
People only hear about that on the news sometimes and think these guys are villains, but they're just normal people.
That's why in One Punch Killers, I did a poem in the block at the bottom of my road where one of my oldest actually ended up doing a mad thing and he's in jail for like life, yeah? And in that poem I said, where I'm from, violence was normal to me. He got beaten up was my normality. Tempers grow, punches throw, I never so much as flinched. I grew used to mothers mourning their kids. It's only as I got older I realized what I had seen wasn't right. I tell others my story, they cry, I didn't understand why. You see, violence is violence, from the lightest crunch to the heaviest thud, no, to the lightest crunch. Do you even know the damage you can do with just one punch? And what I was saying in that is
that was in a documentary,
yeah, bro, yeah. Bro, but what I was saying there is like, and this is a true story, because I was in uni and I was telling a girl about some things that had happened and she started crying. And I didn't understand why. Because I'm like,
I hear you, you know.
Bro, I'm like,
I hear you. People are shocked sometimes.
It's just, unfortunately, our normality.
Yeah.
He got beaten up was my normality.
Yeah.
Tempers grow, punches throw. I never so much as flinched.
Yeah. And you'd be lucky if it was a punches.
Yeah. Because we grew used to mother mourning their kids. Horrible. So, you know, PTSD is a real thing. And it's something that I said on a Channel 5 show the other day. I went to on a debate on Channel 5 about, you know, it's called Law and Disorder. It was about the whole problems that we've got right now in the streets. And I was like, we've got a lot of young people who are seeing their best friend, their cousin, their brother, their people being murdered from a very young age. Before they're 18, they've witnessed multiple murders and nothing's happening after. There's no aftercare. There's no counselling. So what's happening? Those ill feelings that they have are just staying in them and they're being sent back out into the world. What's going to happen then?
Of course.
A lot of these boys that are killing because their brethren's been killed. Pussy, come here!
Revenge.
Yeah, you try to kill D, yeah?
And the thing is, what people don't understand is, people say, when's the violence going to stop, when's the violence going to stop? But until you can bring a friend back from the dead,
it's not going to stop.
You can't stop it, bro.
And these guys are keeping scoreboards now. Like they're keeping official scorecards. Like, we kept mental scorecards. We kept certain people dear to us in our hearts and remember that they've been taken away. But we weren't keeping official scorecards, bro. That's mad.
How much do you think music has a part to play in that?
Now, this is the truth. Especially when it comes to drill music. Drill music and music are not causing the problems. But they're amplifying them. Because it's giving people an opportunity now to voice their transgressions, their aggressions, and direct them at certain people and have it be heard by do you know what we've got now? We've got a nation of playground people.
That's interesting, you know.
Don't let man say that.
That is interesting, you know.
That has become the world now through the videos and the music. When man was like, no, man, can't let man say that. Now the internet's saying that.
Media.
What? Is Big Man J gonna let man say that about? Nah, that man there's gone wet. Comment.
And more time is nicks. Any dickheads.
Punks that's never been around it.
Been on the roads.
But man, are getting incensed by that. No, I can't have this. I gotta go out and ride right now, fam. You see me? So that's what's happened now.
Yeah.
That's what's happened. So the music is not causing our problems because we've got these problems already. Like these are things that are happening. We've got conflicts. We've got fragmentations. Now we've got youths that are creating divisions now because to have ops is cool. To have no ops is not cool. You have no relevance unless you have ops.
Yeah.
So we have the problems, but the music and the videos and the online world is now amplifying it because it's allowing you now to violate a man to a much larger audience. Some man got violated back in the day, but we didn't know unless you were in the you didn't know about it.
What's your views on the media? You touched on obviously the media being written and how the media is written, the narratives that's put out. You've also mentioned about agendas, which is something I'm hot on because I always believe if there's a news story out there, there's an agenda behind it 9 times out of 10. Mm-hmm. What have you learned about the media? What are your views on the media, mainstream media, and just how literally everything, not just the roles, but global politics, everything is covered, the inside scoop? What's your view?
For me, it feels like media is covered from a perspective, an angle, a political positioning that benefits whatever allegiance that media platform has. And also maybe whatever allegiance, I guess maybe nationally that the platform may have. So like, I personally feel like when it came to a lot of the stuff with young people, because I remember there was always things that used to happen, like incidents, and I was always like, why is this not in the news? Like, man got stabbed in the head 10 times.
I got stabbed in my face, bro.
Yeah. Didn't make the news. Why is it not in the news? So I started to realize that, you know what it is? I feel like, well, not realize, but I started to feel like, you know what it was? This is part of a wider plan to maybe push through certain legislations that are going to allow a more heavy-handed approach to young people. If we show enough of what's going on, to be honest, it is happening.
But things like stop and search, all the stories of that, when we had that big epidemic of the knife crime going on, the acid attacks.
So if we show that these guys are out of control, then when we bring in a heavy-handed approach,
it's going to be welcome.
It's like with the even though driving and texting and looking at your phone is never good, but if you notice, like, there'll be quite a few stories about people that were in crazy accidents on the road because of phones, because they want to give you a reason to why we're doing this. Like we're becoming further intrusive, but this is why. Do you know what I mean? We're going to be more heavy-handed with you, but this is why. And I realized from university that if you want to, you can manipulate any sources of information to put across an argument. I can make you believe that the sky must be green and the ground must be blue by having intelligent enough manipulation of informations, taking certain parts of informations and putting them and combining them together. And that's all it really is. It's just like that, but on a live scale. It's like we need justification to why we're doing certain things. Like, there's also other conspiracy theories about, like, even when it comes to like the wars and stuff, in terms of what was benefited from them.
I spoke to a high-profile journalist about Gaddafi, who busted me on some important information. So.
Even that, like, is it a coincidence that a lot of the places that were intercepted were very oil-rich places
and thriving during the economic crash?
It's not. I'm not gonna make it.
It's not.
But sometimes.
But you know what's so mad about it? What frustrates me? I think with not necessarily the evidence, the circumstantial evidence in front of us, only points to this no longer being a conspiracy theory, but something we have to consider as fact. Yet.
Yeah.
No one talks about it.
Yeah.
We don't address it. Why do you think that is?
They'll cut you off. They'll cut you off. No one, like, it's like.
Would you ever do a documentary on that?
On something conspiring?
Something like something juicy, something that you think, right, this could possibly,
I wanted to. Got blocked.
Got blocked?
Yeah, like, I wanted to do. It wasn't even such a big scale like that. I wanted to do a documentary, and I still want to do it, but I wanted to go covert. Yeah, I wanted to go covert. I wanted to show the truth about the job centre.
You were never going to be allowed to do that.
I wanted to show the truth about job centre. Job centre is a place that treats people horrifically.
Yeah.
And it's also a a place that is just trying to not help you out of unemployment, but ultimately keep you there and treat you like the trash that they want you to believe that you are. And there were some horrible stories that I got, like, but I was told that going covert into something like that is dangerous because you have to have actual evidence that something is going on, and then just basically go in there and show that. If you don't, then you're liable to a lot of
legal shit.
Yeah, but it did get commissioned by London Live. But unfortunately, London Live, at the time it got commissioned, went through a massive change. And so all the developing and stuff that we done just basically ended up just kind of coming to nothing.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience. And it kind of opened my eyes a little bit more, so that when I went into actually doing what I do now, I had a bit more of understanding. But I still want to do that.
Because if they're like... Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
If there was like a documentary that someone said, alright, cool, this documentary could 50% chance you're going to bust, 50% chance it's going to ruin your life. But not me completely ruin your life. But 50%, but if you bust, you are out of this world. And the story is crazy. What would you do?
I might take a chance, man. Because to be honest, I've got there's a show that was actually kind of pitched to me, that had already been pitched to a channel from a production company, and I was like, yo, if I do that, that's gonna make me hated by a lot of people, especially man. Like the man them are gonna hate. Man. Yeah, not man, but it's men. I can't say it, but because it might still be in like process of like, yeah. But like they were like, yeah, we want you to do it, and it's like, I'm like, oh, do you know what? It will get watched as well.
Yeah.
But and also it might even mess me up because people might be like, well, hold on a second, he's actually like been part of that as well, and I was just like, I was like, ooh.
People don't want to see you change, man.
And I'm just like, but you know what? Yeah, if it does come around, I'm probably gonna do it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do it, but it's a very hard question. Like, I think integrity is important with what I do. Your integrity is important, and the thing is, with this show though, there's no real integrity. It's like it doesn't need to happen. It would just be it'd be a very interesting show for this country, and a very interesting concept. But in what you were saying, that sounds like it had relevance. In fact, let me go to the toilet quickly.
Go on, do your thing.
Go to the toilet. Yeah, cut a second. Yeah.
So yeah, taking a project that might risk you but bust you at the same time. What would you say? Did you say you had something there?
I personally feel like doing what I do is a bit of a responsibility as well. I feel like I really do like, I like to, even in general in my own life, I like to bring information to people about things that they might not have known about. Yo, did you know this is happening? What? Yeah, bro, like I couldn't believe it myself. Like, and I did more research around it, and apparently this and this and this as well. What? I think I'm in a position now where I think it's kind of like I have a right, and I have not a right, but I have a responsibility, a duty to not so much educate, but at least bring light to things that maybe people don't know about. So going back to your question about if I would take a project that was dangerous, it could either ruin me or make me, I think you have to do that. You got to take a chance, especially if the subject matter itself is something that people need to know, man. I think if it's just like a bit more of like if it's not as relevant, if it's just something that's like you're just trying to get up off of some effery, then maybe not. But if it's something that has, like, for instance, I shouldn't be talking about my ideas, but I've got ideas that I want to do shows around, to do with, let me try not to tell you too much, but trying to do shows with around issues that are happening in like beautiful places that people don't know are happening. Like,
you don't have to be specific.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are happening. Like there's even on like an environmental level. I've never really been an environmentalist, but I'm getting more into I think, do you know what it is? I did a piece for the Sky One show that I do, What's Up TV, on plastic pollution in the sea, and it really opened up my eyes. You know, we've got a mass of plastic pollution in the sea that's so big it can be seen from outer space, and it's 7 times the size of Japan.
I thought that was a myth. 7 times the size of Japan?
Bro, it's massive, bro. It can be seen from space.
In the ocean?
Yes, bro. We've got a massive problem, and then like we've got fish and marine life and wildlife around the areas that are eating like these plastics and stuff, and there haven't been like any major causes for concern, but it's not good for them.
Yeah.
It's not. It's dangerous.
The way
like,
evolution works.
bro, there's marine life in the sea that are seeing plastic bags, thinking it's jellyfish, and trying to eat it. They don't tell the difference. Like, we've got serious problems, man. Like, and so that kind of opened up my mind a little bit more as to what's going on. And then also I went to Thailand and I met this guy who does this thing called aquaponics. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's deep, bro. It's a system, an ecosystem, a self-sustainable ecosystem where you can use the waste of fish. I think he had what fish did he have? I can't remember. You can use a waste of fish that goes through a system to feed your plants and your green life, and then the water and oxygen and stuff and the waste that they use can be filtered back into the system to feed the fish, and it's like an ecosystem where you can have like a healthy system of fish that are growing and crop and plant life and vegetation, and it's mind blowing. But like, he was saying this could be the thing that we could use to kind of like not save the environment, but at least be of great benefit to the environment. And it's making me think, man. So like, to get back to the point is, I feel like I'm always trying to find breaking things that are happening in places and stuff that maybe people don't know about, that people need to know about, because hopefully as well, by knowing about it, maybe we can address it as well, because some things actually happen and are just allowed to happen because no one's caring about it yet. Like, kids have been killing kids since we've been young. Me and you are both in our late 20s. Like, kids have been killing kids since they were young, since we were young. But is it only now that it's become a...
I had a conversation with my mum who insists that it's got worse. Insists, but I told her the Vikings used to fight back in the day.
That's how they got in.
But no, if you really think about it, as a society, you're far more barbaric than we are.
Yeah, of course. Bro, this country is built on
barbarism.
Barbarism. Like, they came in and invaded through the middle, which is why you notice all the accents and the Gaelic language, the Celtic languages are spoken in those regions. Yeah. Like, in fact, we laugh at the people that speak with these accents, but actually they're speaking how we would have all been speaking if we weren't invaded through the middle. Yeah. So you find, like, you know, Welsh, they've got their language because they were originally here, but they got pushed out. Scottish have their own accent, and some people even say they have elements of their own language as well. Ireland as well. They got the Gaelic language. That's because they were here and pushed this way. So that came in through a push that was not just like, hey guys, would you mind moving? It was like, yo, unless you want to die, like, you better just make space for us because we're coming in with a little bit of Roman rule, you know what I mean? And so you're right, like, we are built on in many ways atrocity as well. You know what I mean? Like, even in terms of like how we were taken from, this is getting deep, but taken from Africa and brought to different countries in the Caribbean or South America or wherever else. Australia was built upon the vagabonds and the vagrants, being the criminals, being sent over there because we don't want them over here. Bro, a lot of cultures have been built on complete atrocity and complete exploitation.
Speaking of the Romans, what's your belief system? What's your faith? You mentioned faith in God. You also mentioned believing in the universe. What do you believe in spiritually, religiously?
Yeah, man, I never talk about religion, but I have my faith. I'm a faithful person. I have my faith. In fact, my faith is probably what gives me strength.
My mum said the exact same thing.
Yeah, it probably does give me my strength. We need something, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We need something to hold on to because we are not, bro, we need something. And yeah, my faith. And also, but like, when you speak about the universe, I believe in energies, man. Like, people say to me, like, oh, you keep on doing this for them and this for that, and that for that person, but like, they're not doing nothing for you, but I don't do it to get back. I don't care if you're going to give me something, but I'm not going to give you £25 because I wanted 25 back. Oh, do you know, I really need 25. I don't know if I can give back. Bro, here, you need £25. I don't care about getting it back. But I think people have this system. It's like, oh, we need to get things. I don't care. I do as my spirit leads me. Like, and I do a lot of things like that. Like, even like, I'm not going to get into names and stuff, but there's people in this industry that I'm in right now who know that very early in their careers, I touched their careers. I touched it because I could see that they have talent or ability. And I done what I could. With my little platform at the time, I was SBTV's presenter, so I did a lot of hype on me. I done what I can, say, yo, look at this person, look at that person. I've linked people up with other people. And some people would, to the outside world, be even seen to be doing better than me now. But that's fine. My return is your success. Or my return is your...
Because you don't do it to get anything back.
Nah, bro. Like, I feel happy.
Yeah.
Like, you doing good, you being in a happy place is my return.
Hey.
And you don't even need to tell me it's because of me. But me just seeing now that you were there, I tried to do what I could do a little bit, even if it's just a little bit, and now you're here, I'm happy, bro. So I think that's part of my belief in energies. Like, and to be honest, like, sometimes I feel like a lot of negative happens to me, like, not majorly, but like, I feel like, really, how come I haven't got like good luck? But you know what I mean? Like, how come I haven't got... But then, if I really break it down, like, even being in a position that I am right now, I've been given my blessings. Like, you know that saying that Caribbean people say, they say, count your blessings. I think we do need to do that, man. We need to count our blessings and stop focusing. Even in my poem that I released the other day, I said, it's
Go on,
so...
spin it.
I can't remember it. I don't remember. I never remember.
Give me something for me.
But I said something like, it says, you're much closer than you think. You feel you're far, but you're right on the brink. It says, drink from the cup of success. Think what you've achieved and don't stress. It's so much easier for us to think about what we haven't got, as opposed to focusing on what we do. But success is seeing, progress is preying. It's right around the corner from you. You know what I mean? So what I was saying is, like, it's so much easier for us to focus on what we don't have instead of thinking about what we do. And that's like, it's simple, but it's just so true. And so when I go back to your point about the faith and about the universe, I'm just like, well, do you know what? Like, I have been blessed. Do you know what I mean? I won a competition to become a presenter. Boom. I ended up winning an opportunity to present my first TV documentary, and it's set me on a run of them after. Like, I've been on The Right Stuff. I've been on national shows where they've kind of honored me for being, a talent. You know what I mean? So I have been, but it's just that sometimes I'm just like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, flipping out. I'm so close, but it's just not happening. But faith is powerful, man. Like, do you know what it is? I'm at a stage now where it's like, even when things are not going that well, I'm like, but why am I worrying for? One, because I know what kind of person I am. I'm not going to sit down and wallow and not do anything about my trajectory. I'm going to be actively working on it. And two, like, man, God's got me, man. You get me? Like, just calm. I used to get so nervous. Like, even now, like, a time like now where I haven't got a certified project in place, are you worrying? Like, oh man, like, where's money going to come from? Where's this? But bro, like, we know what kind of people we are. You're here today because you're that kind of person. Like, we only set this up a couple of hours ago. Do you know what I mean? But that's what proactive people do. Boom, let's get to it. We don't need to worry. Put faith in the universe, and also put faith in your faith if you have it. If you don't have it, you don't have to have faith. I don't say people have to have faith. I completely understand agnostic approach to life. I understand it. I understand why people might believe that there's some sort of higher force or higher being, but they don't really want to be part of any one denomination. I understand that. But at least in the very least, believe in doing good. You know what I mean? Believe in putting out the right energy, because it's not a secret to know that, what we give out is usually what we get back. There are some bastards that give out nothing but negative and they get good. It happens as well. But my mum said to me, who was it the other day? Was it my mum or somebody that said to me a scripture from the Bible? I don't even really go to the Bible. They said a scripture from the Bible which said something like, God will, even the sinners will be blessed, or something like that. My mum, I can't remember that. Don't quote me, you Christians. Sorry if you're going to get offended. But it was very strong. I was like, that's very true. It said something along the lines of basically, even those who are not good people will be given blessings by God. It's just how it goes. People will be given blessings, innit? I guess blessings don't discriminate. But in general, what you put out is what you get back, man. Like, there's no surprise to why Stormzy's doing as well as he is. I don't know if have you ever met Stormzy before? Bro, when you meet Stormzy, bro, just very positive energy, blessed spirit of a youth.
Is it?
Very, like, I met him on the cusp of like what was gonna become, you know what I mean, like, and I was just like, man, you can't help, you can't not like him. And the thing is, why it's so amazing is, I know I shouldn't even say this because this sounds like racist in itself, but it's like he's a very big, tall, very dark, young brother from a certain place.
You didn't know you think he was any.
But it doesn't matter because his personality and the way he is supersedes all of that preconception that you may have. And that's why, and he puts a lot, I'm not saying it's because of God, but he puts a lot of his faith and his belief into God. I'm not saying that's the reason why he's successful, but I think these things can help.
How do you deal with like a lot of times that you're going through, or that you go through?
Oh, bro, like there's more low times than there are high times.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, that's like saying, how do you deal with life? And you know how you deal with it. Yeah.
How you face it still?
Bro, it's true. Like, I would even say where I am right now at the moment is a low time, but you wouldn't know because I'm able to still verbalize. In fact, this is probably therapeutic for me. This is helpful for me to not feel as low as maybe I feel or I felt. But through low times, it's good to have good people around you. It's good to have at least 1 or 2, 3 or 4 people that you can confide in honestly and just say, yo, you know what, I'm just feeling a bit low.
Do you think it's difficult to do that as men?
It is for me, yeah.
I've done a piece about that which I'm going to drop.
Very difficult for me. Even when I do it, I don't do it completely. I just go so far. I do poetry because I found it hard to express emotionally. I've expressed in poems things that I felt emotionally that I could never express.
I mean, even for me, there's stuff that I would want to say in poems that I just.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But you can but I have written poetry. See, that's why I like written poetry, because my written poetry is very different to my spoken. My written poetry is very high English.
Okay, so your spoken poetry and written poetry are 2 different things.
Yeah, my spoken from the start had been more colloquial.
Okay.
And a bit more, because I wanted people to catch things. My written poetry, I didn't really want you to catch it unless you really maybe understood emotionally. Like, I've written a poem called A Toilet. It's called Toilet, but it's about how men use women.
God.
Yeah, I mean, you have to read it. It's not something that I've ever spoken. Okay. You have to. I'll send you the link. Yeah, I'll send you the link. And it's like, like I've written a poem called Why Is It So Hard? That seems like it's talking about like a hard like time in life, but it's talking about horniness. Yeah, like it's talking about like exactly. It's talking like about like kind of like incessant horniness, like, you know what I mean, just like being highly sexed, you know what I mean. And I loved it because this is why I love words, because especially my written poetry for me is probably so much better than my spoken, but I like my spoken because I like rhythm, and I feel like I've got a good understanding of rhythm and phonetic rhyming. Like, that's something that I discovered later, because I always felt like rhyming had to be structured, but then when I discovered phonetic rhyming, it's one of the most mind-blowing things ever. Yeah. Like, I remember I had a line that said, I'm tapping at bay and scrapping away. It's like all that, the ability to like rhyme phonetically with words, it's like was a game changer. Yeah. But anyway, that's getting too deep into the poetry thing. But like, yeah. But the spoken is very different. I love it because I can write a poem and express my deepest, most emotion, but I can disguise it so well with words and writing techniques that only someone who's really on. I've got a friend who's on the level who can. She sometimes breaks it down. One of my best friend. Big up Grace. Big up Talifa. She often can break down what I'm speaking about, but sometimes she can't. But she's probably the only person that can often break it down. But that's what I love about poetry and words, is that I can write my innermost like feelings, and unless you really kind of like can get deep like that into somebody else's words and mind, you'll never know. But at the same time, I've put it out. There it is.
It's the universe now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, boom, I've got it off my chest at least. And
why do you think it's so difficult for men to talk? Lastly, we're starting to wrap up. Why do you think it's so difficult for men to talk about stuff like this?
It's difficult for a certain type of man. Men that are from the kind of place that we're from find it hard to express emotionally, because that has never been something that has been allowed.
What? It's frowned upon even.
What do you mean you're feeling? What do you mean you're feeling like emotion? Man, fix up. What's going on? What? What, you want to go home to your mum? Like, what do you mean you don't feel right? Man don't feel. Man don't feel. Man don't feel. Man just rides. Man ain't feel. What's man feeling for? You feeling? If you're feeling, come off the roads. If you're feeling, don't be around the man there.
Especially when you're talking on the road, you know. Yeah. And this brings me back to what I was saying about how normalized you are with the situation, because real life situations always has a huge part on the roads, and it's almost like you don't want to feel emotion because you're on the roads, and you can't have that emotion thing around the man them on the roads because they're probably all going through it, but all on the roads because of that.
And we're all broken beings.
All broken. You know what's so mad? I had a conversation one time when I was on the hood. And it was late. I was on curfew as well, so I was like
on tag.
Yeah, but I wasn't actually on a tag. It was just a curfew thing. That's why I used to fly it all the time.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I don't know how we started, but we were talking about why we were on the road, a group of us. And when we started having that conversation, it transpired that we're actually going through stuff. All of us individually are going through stuff, but we're not talking about it.
Never spoke about it. Never.
I've seen that would have been the same with you.
But it's mad, yeah. I remember one of the elders sat us down one time. This is a bit different though. But I remember he sat us down one time and he said something like, listen, because these times I think they clocked what was going on as well. Because there's a lot of people that use on the road that don't need to be on the road, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But he said something along the lines of like, look, man, if you're out here on the roads, getting money so that you can go and buy crepes, impress gal, or just buy clothes, come off of the roads. But if you're out here to support your family, or you actually need to be out here to eat, then you should be out here. Because if you're not here for that reason, all you're doing is hotting up the roads. And I remember he said that, not verbatim, but he said if you're not out here for those reasons, all you're doing is hotting up the roads, and it's true.
It's true because you're just being flashy.
Yeah. And you're hotting up the area, you're hotting up or even being connected to me, or you phoning my phone, and you're just hotting up the roads. And the thing is, there's a lot of boys, because even me, like, to be honest, the reason why I didn't get deeper into, I've done certain things, but the reason why I didn't get deeper into it is because I realized that I had two parents that if it really came down to it, I could say, yo, could you borrow me a tenner? You know what I mean? Could you buy me? They might not buy me the flashiest, but I knew I could turn to them. I also understood that there were some people who were my friends around me and stuff that didn't have that luxury. Like, you know what I mean? Even having a brand name Rice Krispies was a thing. You know what I mean? It's like more time, a lot of them had like crispy rice cereal. You see me? Own brand, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It tastes the same anyway. Tastes the same anyway. Nah. Yeah, true. But the only thing that I would say, to also flip that on its head, I think, and I hate to do this because I don't like generalizations, yeah. But one thing that I will say is, one thing that I noticed in the hood is that those of us in the hood, bro, why was it that even though we were struggling, we didn't have much to our names, so many of us still had the brand names things? Like, I feel like we had priorities wrong.
You know what? We had priorities wrong, but you got to look at it from a side where, because it's the same argument with the whole like flipping, like people with low money still have like big TVs and shit.
Yeah, what's that about?
If you don't have a lot of money, the least you're gonna do is buy yourself a flipping TV on our trains. Because what else you gonna do with that money? If you're not of that thinking. Because even if you look at it like, alright, cool.
But it's not one though. Okay, one, yeah, but I'm talking about, I grew up in environments where people were living in a room with their family, basically. There was like maybe a room, like the kitchen in front of everything was conjoined as one. Like it was hard situations, but yeah.
But it's that
brand names.
Again, it's crazy, but my understanding of it, what I think it is anyway, is bro, if you're in a shit situation, you've got nothing to your name, you can't see a way out, you're in this room sharing with how many people, and you've got a little bit of change to you, them pair of trainers are going to make you feel good.
True.
You get what I'm saying? True. And yeah, it's not going to be progressive, but because of the situation you're in, you're not even thinking 5 years down the line. Bro. You're thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
How's a man going to think 5 years down the line when he could barely provide for his family that week?
And that's a big thing. There's no foresight in the hood. We didn't think maybe further than about 2 weeks.
But again, you couldn't, because we were in a situation, in a condition where 2 weeks from now, bro, my boy could be stabbed and dead.
Yes.
2 weeks, like, I've got beef. 2 weeks from now, that beef could either go one way or another.
Yeah, that's true.
It's difficult to think 5 years ahead.
That's true.
Get what I'm saying? Man, I want to look off your head now.
Yeah, that's true. It's horrible, bro. once again, PTSD. So many young men and young women, through the environments they're living in, are suffering with undiagnosed and untreated PTSD. And some people might get mad at me for saying that, because PTSD is a very serious condition that a lot of people go through from serious experiences in life. But I truthfully believe that a lot of the experiences that myself and other people like yourself who are from similar environments have gone through are traumatic.
And you've got to understand, fear is subjective. So when we're talking about PTSD, and we're talking about, all right, what's a traumatic experience? Seeing your friend die, fear in your life, having guns fired at you, not knowing if you're going to be alive. Bro, that sounds like someone from the roads.
That's true. That's true. And I've been in that environment as well. I never forget, like, I've got a mad, this is just a random story, but I'll tell you anyway. But I've got a mad sixth sense. And I remember I was in a club in Muswell Hill. Do you remember the hill? You don't remember?
I'm from East.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're from East. Sorry.
Muswell size a little bit.
Yeah, and I remember we were in the club now, yeah. And fam, I just know, you see me, blood, I just know when a man is moving dicey as well. Yeah. But anyway, some youths, I think I just came out of the toilet not too long before that, and some youths were in the toilet, yeah. And when the youth came out of the toilets now, one of the youths said something like, "Yeah," and I'm like, I know what that, yeah. Cause you see us, bro. You see where we're from, but things mean something else. Yeah. Like you see, like some people say you alright. You see what I'm saying? You alright, yeah.
Yeah, that's something.
It's something completely different. So when I heard the I was like, attention. And then so like 2-2s, bro. Like I kind of just gripped my brethren a little bit. I'm just like, yo, hold on, this cool. Like, you know what I mean? Hold on, this stay there, innit? Man comes out, he's like, yeah. As he's come out, and I pull out one of the most beautiful chrome things I've ever seen in my life, blood. And literally, he started shooting towards my man. But the gun is like here where my face is. It's so close to me, I can smell the gunpowder like distinctly. And he fires it off. He ends up hitting like 2 gal in the leg. And I think he hit somebody. I didn't think he even hit the person he was intending to hit. But at that point, I grabbed my brethren and just kind of dived this way.
Did he hit the news?
No, bro. Actually, hold on.
Oh, I might be thinking of another.
It might have, you know. It might have. Because I remember reading about... I'm hearing that the two girls...
But then I'm hearing that was a Birmingham thing as well, so I don't know if I'm getting it confused with
Birmingham, that one might be more recently.
The Birmingham was a couple years ago, but I know the crossfire with two girls.
Yeah. Okay, like, it was mad. Oh, no, you're thinking about Letitia Shakespeare and them. Yeah. Rest in peace. That was a crazy... But that's Birmingham... I just come back from Birmingham. Like, that's like my second city. There's still so much problems in politics in Birmingham in terms of... the divisions, and I won't get onto it on camera, but Birmingham is such an amazing, beautiful city with such talented people and such good yard food. Yeah, like I just really hope that one day that, you know, these divisions they've got can be mended, man. Because what a great city, but it's marred by the divisions. I can't do certain things in the city. Like I can't bring certain people to certain places because of the divisions, and yeah, bro, it's mad.
But yeah, go on back to the
So and I dragged my friend into the toilet, like, and we ended up diving into the girls. They're like, "What the fuck?" And we're like, "No, look, sorry, like, there's a shooting happening out on the main dance floor." And then I remember after just feeling proper affected about it. And I remember my brother was like, "Bloody hell, so what, man? This thing's happening. Like, well, I never got licked." I'm just like, "Bro, man was just in a dance, where you just pulled out a gun and started firing into the crowd over whatever scuffle he had in the bathroom." Like, that was another mad moment for me where I was like, nah, I'm not about certain things. I can't justify certain things. My best friend dying as well, that was another thing as well. Like, that really affected me. And, we still don't really know the full story, but he was in Scotland trapping, and he ends up being found dead. But I think, I don't know. I can't even speak on it. His mum's still mourning, man. But like, yeah, it's only a couple of years ago, man. Like, yeah, man. But like, you know, things happened, and I realized I can't be part of certain things, and also I realized I have a responsibility. But to be honest, who really showed me I had a responsibility was one you. I don't know this you, and I would love to meet him again. Don't mean to be judgmental, but visibly a road man. And I remember he came up to me. I was at one like local kind of like event that a girl was doing, and I just came through to support kind of thing. And then he came up to me like yo, I'm like, welcome, my brother, you all right? He's like, fam, I remember watching you, my baby mother, you know. And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. And I remember saying to her that, yo, this is the only you we got on TV that represents us.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, man. And that's why. And he started going on. He kind of got progressively more emotional, which was quite interesting. Roadman are the most emotional, you know.
Yes, they
the most
are.
emotional.
Yes, they are.
He progressively got more emotional.
Yes,
but I got stuck on that statement he said there because that made me realize in an instant, oh, I've got a responsibility.
Doing something.
But not even just that, but I've got a responsibility. And I was like, oh, I didn't put it together before. I was like, I'm just doing my thing in it. But no, I've got a responsibility because now I represent a certain demographic of people
who are listening to you.
Yeah, who see me as representative of them. And also, like, I can't fuck up now, which is kind of part of the reason why I started using Aarron Roach Bridgman, because I was like, I've got to put pressure on myself to not do anything wrong, because I've got my full government out there now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't do nothing wrong.
Way to look at it.
Yeah, and also because I'm out of respect to my grandparents, like my granddad, Freddie Roach, who always had love and faith in me, even though I was a terror when he was alive.
Freddie Roach sounds like a hard name,
that was my granddad, man, and so I kept the Roach in there, even though it's part of my name anyway, but I kept it specifically. And also Bridgman, obviously that's my grandma's name. When she died, for some reason I kept saying stuff like, I'm gonna do your name proud. I don't know why that was coming out when I was crying. I'm gonna do your name proud, do your name proud. I promise, Gran, I'm gonna do your name proud. And I was just like, why was I saying that? But then I realized it's because I needed to do the name proud, bro. And I didn't know how I was going to, but literally, I think I went to Germany actually on a project because I was part of this international development program where we got talents from all over Europe and we come together and do projects. And I had to make a choice to go to Germany if I could still go because my grand just died, and I was like, I'm still going to go. And then while I was there, I realized I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to try and do what I'm doing. And then no word of a lie, a couple months later, the SBTV thing happened. So it's like, grand, like I feel like you, because the thing is, I'll never forget, like I came home to Barbados, yeah. I feel more affinity to Barbados, to be honest. I think maybe because I was always there. I was there more than Dominica. And I came home to Barbados, yeah. And I had cane roll, yeah. And I don't know if you know about old school Caribbean. They're not really into, not really. They think you're a Rasta. You're a Rasta now? Yeah, like I'm like, nah. And then I remember, you a Rasta now? Where? The boy turned Rasta?
I love the Asian accent, that's hard.
And so she takes me and she grabs me and she brings me in like for an embrace, and she was like, look, you is my grandson and I claim you. In the name of Jesus Christ, I claim you. And like the thing is, you need to understand how deep that is. Like my grandma said that I claim you. Like that was powerful. See what it is for me, it's like I think maybe even her as a woman and people in general don't understand how much importance I place on words. The words you use are very, very powerful. Like she said, I claim you. So that for me was like rare. This woman is actually claiming me as her own, no matter what I do and am. That's powerful, bro. So I felt it from there, and I was like, this woman loves me regardless. I knew that I was a little bit of a tyrant. I knew they used to give me some real licks as well. Like
really bad?
Yeah, I had anger issues.
Had?
Yeah, I had. I feel like I still get kind of angry, but I'm not like then. So I can control my anger now. And I could also tell myself, calm down, what's wrong with you, man? Like, you're getting so...
You're not really like...
Yeah, what's wrong with you, man? And like, man, I had anger issues. And I think one of the most... And this is something that we can start to kind of, I guess, close in with. But like one of the things that I realized the most, that's quite worrying as well, is that when you ask me why I was so angry at that age, and as a teenager, I can't tell you why. And that also, I guess, adds more to my whole conversation about the issues that young people are going through and not dealing with, and therefore it's coming out in certain ways, and also is it maybe evidence of PTSD, because I was so angry. But if you ask me why I was so angry, I can't, even to now, I can't tell you why.
Have you ever considered counselling or thought
I need to. I'm going to at one point. My agent said to me as well that, two people, my agent said to me, Aarron, are you stipulating in your contracts to have counselling included in your contract? And I'm like, no. She's like, I think you should.
Of course, because of the stuff you're doing, the stories you're taking on board.
And I didn't think about that, so I'm going to think about that actually. And then also I met a craniopsychologist the other day, and she told me off because she said, you're breaking the cycle. I'm like, what's going on here? She goes, there's a cycle. She goes, even me as a craniopsychologist, with all the people that I talk to, I have someone that I go to offload on. She goes to me, you're breaking the cycle because you're in our cycle now where you're getting people offloading on you and you're not offloading it anywhere, so you're breaking the cycle. You need to offload. Everyone needs to have someone to offload onto professionally. And I'm like, raw. I'm like, okay, cool. Once I can afford it, I will, yeah? Once I can afford you, because she's like world renowned and thing. I'm like, I can't really afford you unless you want to do me. And she's like, nah, alright, cool. like, you get me? But like, she made me realize I'm breaking the cycle, and we can't do that because that's what leads to the inconsistencies and also the I guess the, you know, when you've got like people that don't take their rubbish to the right place and you just go somewhere and you find that rubbish just spewed all over the floor. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. Like, rather than taking my rubbish and putting it in the right place, my rubbish might just get spilled all over the road, causing a smell, causing a stink. You don't want that. You get me?
It's been great talking.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot more of this conversation.
Yeah, man.
One, than I thought, and two, then you probably think you will know. Just some of the stuff you've said really resonate with me. Some of the responses you've had, just some of your stories as well. Especially because, not only because it's similar, synonymous to mine, but just because I feel like sometimes we're possibly, you're way ahead of me, but we are in the same place, maybe. Just headspace, where we are, how we see things, ambition, whatever. And yeah, bro, it was a great chat.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. And I feel like, you know what it is? It's because I feel like, not just because we come from the same era, but I think that helps. And you know what it is? Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing when we can get to this place. But the thing is, we got to try and get some of the rest of them to this place before they lose their life, bro. Because I'm noticing I know some man that were some seriously dangerous guys when we were younger, but now they are settled down. They've got mature minds.
But that's why I asked you at the beginning. I know we're wrapping up. That's why I asked you at the beginning. Do you consider yourself special? Because I know you wouldn't consider yourself special, but I think it takes something to look at your situation and circumstances and carry on regardless. And I asked that because I said the same thing to my mum, because when I was talking to my mum about growing up in a fatherless home, she was like, that shouldn't be an excuse because of blah blah blah. There's people that's gone and done things regardless. And I said, yeah, but those people, they're not special, but you have to be made of something.
Yeah.
Or you have to have something in your mind to sit around and say, yo, this is what I'm going to do regardless. So
yeah,
maybe the only thing you could do is inspire those to bring that out of people. Because I don't think it's something that's unique to people. I just think it needs to be brought out.
Yeah. And I truthfully believe that because I found so many abilities in so many of these young kids that I work with who are apparently hard to reach, hard to teach, problem kids. Everyone had little abilities and skills that no one knew about. And I was just like, wow, that just needs to be nurtured. And I think with me, to be honest, you know what? I think a major part of my story that I don't talk about is the fact that I went to a private school as a primary school. My mum sent me to a private school because apparently everyone was saying, yo, this boy is very, very sharp, very, very quick. You should try to make sure he's in the right environment that he can like really capitalize on the sharpness that he has. And I think maybe the reason why, I guess, I never went to a private high school. I went to a normal high school because I was just like, I could tell my mum couldn't afford it. I could tell it was killing her. But as a young 11-year-old, you're not going to tell your mum you understand about that. I was very emotive. I was very emotionally perceptive from very young. Very, very young, but I didn't say anything. I would just understand the situation. My mum always says to me, I remember that there was a Christmas when my birthday's on Boxing Day. So Christmas is not just Christmas, it's my birthday as well. She goes, I never forget there was a Christmas when we didn't have much money and I remember told you all I could afford was just like this bucket of sweets she bought me, and she goes, you never complained. It's because I understood. I wasn't happy. I wanted presents. But I understood that it's a hard time right now, emotionally perceptive. But back to what I was saying, I think that private school foundation kind of gave me an accelerated way of thinking earlier.
Okay.
I think possibly it gave me maybe because don't forget they don't teach you to be smarter, but they teach you they intensify and they intensify certain things. And I think that kind of like, even though I left that environment and when I went to high school I had to really prove myself because apparently I remember one of my white mates, Chris, he told me that apparently I used to speak quite posh, and I probably did because I found a video that my parents had, and because I was in that school they were teaching you how to speak in a certain way. So I spoke in a certain way. I wore glasses. I didn't come from the same school as all these guys, so I went into high school and had to prove myself. So I went, that's why I was so bad. I went all the way that way.
That's interesting.
I went all the way that way. Like, man ain't taking me for a prick. I had to go in as a big fish from a tiny pond, a completely different pond, and prove myself in this whole new environment to the point where I managed to scale the social standards, even with glasses.
You see the glasses or contacts?
Contact lenses.
What's your prescription?
Yeah, it's like I've got like less than half vision. It's like minus 0.5
Oh,
and
yeah,
minus.
alright then. I'm minus 7.5, fam. I'm blind, cuz.
No way, 7.5.
Minus 7.5. I'm blind, fam. I got contacts now.
Minus 0.25. Are you sure?
Yeah.
So what does it mean? So what does mine mean? Because I can't see nothing without these, bro.
But what's it like? Like, is it how blurry?
Blurry. I can make out silhouettes at most. Facial features.
I want to be able to. Like, I walk past you. Like the kettle bag on the floor, I want to be able to read kettle from here if I didn't have my contacts.
Yeah, we both got bad eyes. Maybe it's something in Dominica. It gives us, give us a superpower, but then it takes away something else, isn't it?
Who knows?
Yeah, we gotta give away something.
Maybe we should investigate it.
Yeah, man. And as much as we're making a joke out of it, you know what? Yeah, people, if you do come from a different country or place, it's very worth you going and exploring that if you haven't already. And also, black people, man, let's go to Africa and see what it's about, man. I went to Africa and it really changed a lot of my psyche towards things. Like, I just really got like an enlightenment, bro. It just gave me a clarity of thinking. About 3 years ago. Yeah. About 3 years ago, I went to Gambia.
That's one of the best places to know, because you really got it.
Yeah, and I went to Senegal after, and I went to Jufre Island, which is where they would hold a lot of this, possibly Mayans, because I know Barbados, a lot of them came from Gambia originally, or Ghana, the Akan tribe, I believe, is where a lot of our ancestors came from. And I went to visit where they held them, and that was a very emotional time for me because it was so hot. And then I saw these little chambers that they were keeping like hundreds of people in there. Not even 20 people should have been able to fit in there. And it just made me, I got really angry, but then I got really emotional. And I remember because it was a tourist trip, there were people that were just there generally looking, and people were talking and having their little moment. And I was like, yo, no one should be talking right now. No one should be laughing. You get me? And I remember after on the way back, the guy was like, my brother, what happened? You're not speaking now. You're upset. I said, yeah. He goes, I know. He understood. He didn't even say, he knew. He did say, I know, but you have to understand, this is the history. And I was just like, yeah, I hear you. But yeah. So let's explore, man, and let's come together more, man, and let's really try to rise up as a people, because that's what we need right now. You get me? I know it sounds all fantastical and hippie-ish, but it really is the truth. You get me? The hippie.
Am I gonna get you on there again?
Yeah, man. Let's do it again. Cool. Let's do it again, man. Let's do some more. Let's talk, man. Let's have conversations.
Let's talk, innit?
It's important, man.
I feel that.
Love, my brother.
My brother,
cool.
Thank you very much for your time, man.
Come on, man.